Hi, good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, or whatever time it is, wherever you are. Thanks for joining me today. And if you're not able to watch live, I hope that you'll be looking at this at some other point. Today, I'm super excited. Have a great topic, my favorite topic. I've been looking forward to this for weeks. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Edie Sowers, and I help working Christian women to thrive so that they can be their very best, the best woman God created them to be, so that they can take care of the most important things and people in their lives and have energy left over to spare. That's my mission. So I'm excited about that. I have some notes, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm doing. I like to be prepared so I don't waste your time. So today, it's about confidently diving into God's Word and how to do that. Lots of people, including myself in the past, are intimidated by the Bible. And we don't know where to start. We don't know what to do. How do I do this? Just like go like this and pick a verse or whatever. So I'm going to show you a step-by-step process that's going to give you confidence. You can pick up any book and know on your own, without like some prefab study guide, how to approach it each day. So I'm really excited about that. So before I get started on teaching you how to do this, I want to just say a quick prayer. So allow me to do that for you. Lord, I am so thankful for my friend who's watching this. I pray that you would be pleased, that they would be encouraged and motivated to spend time with you on a regular basis. I pray that the guide that I'm using and providing for people will be helpful, and that you will meet people exactly where they are as they learn more about you. Awesome. Okay, so let me give you a little backstory. I grew up in the church. I'd always attended church and gone to Bible studies and Sunday school, youth group, and all that stuff. Although I have to admit, I was not always the most stellar example of a Christian. And the longer you stay with me over this journey, I'll reveal some of those secrets, but because they've helped me grow. Anyway, I grew up in the church, and I thought, okay, I'm doing pretty good. I'm going to Bible studies and stuff. But about 20 years ago, one of my very good friends named Jackie Elliott came to live with me. Two friends. These gals had started a ministry called Circle of Grace, which was focused on helping people learn how to get into the Bible and study on their own. So Jackie came to visit me, and she said, so how's your quiet time going? How's your time with the Lord? And I was like kind of squirming in my seat, and I was like, it's okay. So she's like, well, what book are you studying? What's the Lord teaching you? And I was kind of like, well, I'm in this Bible study at church, and it's going pretty good. I kind of hem-hawed around. It was embarrassing. But she said, well, hey, would you like to go through the book of Genesis with me? And I'll show you the process that I use in my groups. So I said, sure, I would love that. And so this is the process that she showed me. And of course, over the last 20 years, I'm sure it's morphed in different ways, and I've kind of personalized it. But this is what I do now and what I've taught my daughter and other people to do. I hope it'll be helpful for you. By the way, in the notes, I'm going to put a link where you can go and download the guide that I've created. It's a little process, step-by-step process, as well as a template that you can print out and use. So I hope that that'll be helpful. So anyway, 6 steps. First step is to pick any book in the Bible that you want to study. It could be Old Testament, New Testament, something you've read before, something you've not read before. Just pick a book, any book. Number 2, do some background reading. If you have a study Bible, it'll have some notes. It'll have stuff about who wrote it, who it was written to, when in history it was written, what was going on at the time. I also have a couple of resources that I use on a regular basis that just kind of enhance that. So I'll make some notes about the background of the book. So before I start actually studying it, I get a good idea of what the historical context is. Number 3, you're going to do a quick read through the book, just from start to finish. No note taking, no memorizing, anything like that. You're just going to read it. And when you get done with that quick read through, you're going to do step number 4, which is really the meat of this process. And that's where you're going to go back to the beginning and go one chapter at a time. and you're going to do 4 things with each chapter. You're going to read the chapter a little more intently than you did the first time through. And you're going to just write a little short summary in your own words of what it says, what it means to you. Then you're going to come up with a little short, pithy title for that chapter. And then write down the title. And then you're going to write down 1 or 2 verses that just really stood out for you, that God really seems to be speaking to your heart about. Write those down. And then the last 4th thing you're going to do for that chapter is to write some application. And what's God telling me about this? How does this apply to me right now in my life, in the season I'm going through, the circumstances in my life? And write that down. Then you'll move on to the next chapter. So you do that for each chapter. And that's step number 4. Step 5 is when you get to the end of the book, you're going to come up with a title for the book that captures for you the essence of the book. And this is just your own words and what it means to you. Nobody's asking you to turn this in. You don't have a homework. Nobody's looking over your shoulder, checking your spelling or the quality of your chapter guide or anything like that. So it's just sort of, the idea is to be something that'll help you remember in general what the book's about. And then you're going to write a summary of the book in your own words. Just what is God showing you about this book? And and then you're done with that book, and you've got some notes, you've gotten some scriptures, you really can claim some ownership of that book because you've spent some time in there. So I just want you to be encouraged to give this a try. It may sound kind of overwhelming, but if you just take it a little bit at a time, baby steps, I think you'll see that it can be really helpful. And what this looks for me, I don't do this in-depth Bible study every single day. I want to just encourage you to do what you can do. You know, if you can just fit in 10 minutes a day, awesome. If you can just spend 10 minutes 3 times a week, great. You know, God knows where your heart is and what season of life you're in and what you're able to do. So the main thing is it gives you, you've got a target, you've got something you want to do, something you know how to do when you get into that book of the Bible. I think you'll find it really helpful instead of just kind of feeling like, I don't know what to do, you know, feeling freaked out or whatever. So remember, baby steps, 1 step at a time. Figure out what works for you. And I'm going to post in the notes a link to my blog article, which goes into a lot more detail about this, and also a link where you can go put in your email to get a free download of the guide. It's got a cover sheet, and there's a little explanation of what to do, and then I've provided some templates. So you can just copy these, print them out, put them in a binder, and then you've got your stuff right there for whatever book you want to study. So I encourage you to do that. I've also included, I typed up some samples, of course that's probably backwards, I don't know how that looks, but of a chapter I did in the book of Acts back in the fall, just to kind of give you an idea of what it looks like for me. But that doesn't mean that that's how yours has to look. This is meant to be just a jumping off point for y'all. So go read the blog, go download the guide from the link up there. When you go to the blog and you're reading that, there's also a link embedded in a couple of different places in the blog on my website. So that's it. I try not to take up too much time. I know I'm kind of talking fast and throwing a lot of stuff at you all at once. Go back and watch it again. If it's too much, too fast, and too short, I just know that you're busy, and I don't expect you to take, you know, a half hour of your day watching me up here talking and teaching. So if you have questions about this, let's say you download the guide and you pick out a book of the Bible and you start working through it, and you find something confusing or you don't understand, or you look at my sample and you're like, what is that? I don't get that. Then email me or get on Facebook and message me, or Instagram or whatever. I would love to get feedback from you on how this works for you, and how helpful it is, or what's confusing, how I might be able to tweak it so that it's a little more user-friendly. So I'd love to hear from you about this and create some communication, because the best thing in the world that I could give you is encouragement and a pathway to spend time in God's Word on a regular basis. So that's my desire. So next week is going to be a totally different subject. You know, my desire is to help working Christian women to get really solid in how they take care of themselves so that they're filled up in every way and that overflows to the people and the things that matter most to them. So next week, it's going to be about how to get rid of the little petty, annoying things in your life. So it's kind of a shift gears, and I'll have some tips on some strategies you can use right away to help you start knocking out some of those annoyances that you might have in your life. So I'll be back next week, same time, same place, God willing. And I hope that you have an awesome week, and I look forward to hearing from you. God bless you. Bye-bye.